It's a Lone Star State showdown.
The battle of Texas.
Yeah, we got to go out there and do our job and try to get those bragging rights.
It is a rivalry.
The Cowboys are riding high after a big win.
Zeke Elliott, touchdown!
We can't be content with that. We got to do that week in and week out. We got to make sure we carry that over into this week.
J.J. Watt and company are a Texas-sized challenge.
Luck is buried. Guess who? It's Watt.
We're going to have to play our best to be successful this week.
Can affect everything you're trying to do offensively.
The hot boys just keep rolling.
Now he ducks and now he's sacked.
We ain't done, and we're far away from where we should be.
Tonight's test, Deshaun Watson and the high-octane Texans.
Lunges end zone for the touchdown.
He's a lot to handle.
Yeah, we got our hands full with him.
It's Cowboys-Texans on Cowboys Game Day.
It happens once every 4 years. It's the NFL's Texas State Championship game. NRG Stadium in Houston, the site for Cowboys versus Texans tonight at 7:20. And welcome into the CBS 11 studios for the only live and local Cowboys TV pregame show. This is Cowboys Game Day. Less than 9 hours away from kickoff. Bill Jones with the Pro Football Hall of Famer, the Manster, Randy White. Hello, Randy. How you doing?
Bill. I'm doing good.
You know, it's been 16 years since the Cowboys went down to Houston and lost to the expansion Texans, and that still sticks in the craw of Jerry Jones. He still wants revenge for that, even though the Cowboys haven't lost down there since then.
Well, I think this is a big game tonight, and I don't know what the history is leading up to it, but tonight would be a good one to win on the road, which we've had a little problem doing, so.
Well, it's been 8 years since the Cowboys actually played a regular season game in Houston. Keith Russell is live outside NRG Stadium, and I understand this week Houston fans are treating this like the Super Bowl because it has been 8 years since the Cowboys came to town. Keith?
Yeah, they are treating it like the Super Bowl, but they don't know who they're rooting for. We just talked to a Houston fan off camera, and I said, hey, man, what do you think? He said, I root for both teams. I said, what the heck is that? What do you mean you root for both teams? He said, I'm from Texas. I said, no, you're from Houston. You root for the Texans. I root for the Cowboys. I'm going to get the victory tonight. You know, this Cowboys season has been a roller coaster, as you guys mentioned off the top. Loss, win, loss, win. 2 wins at home, 2 losses on the road. It's time to finally get a road victory. It's hot here. It's already hot at 10:30 in the morning. It's swampy. There are mosquitoes. There are gnats. But you know what the Houston Texans are? They're just like that. They're a gnat. And we got to smack them. We got to smack them.
For the fans who root for both the Cowboys and the Texans, that would be like a fan rooting for both Texas and Oklahoma. And by the way, congratulations to you Longhorns out there. But as far as this game is concerned, both the Cowboys and the Texans coming off much-needed wins last Sunday. Dallas showing some signs of life on offense against the Detroit Lions. Zeke Elliott was bound and determined to lead the Cowboys, rushing for 152 yards, but also catching 4 passes for 88 yards and a touchdown. And the big play on the game-winning scoring drive, setting up the Brett Maher field goal that gave the Cowboys a 26-24 win. Cowboys now have 2 wins at home and 2 losses on the road.
Everything that we accomplished last Sunday, last week, it really means nothing if we don't come out and repeat it or bid on it and get better. We can't be content with that. We got to do that week in and week out if we want to be a good team in this league.
We made some strides, especially in the 2 home games. I think there's some things that we can really build on. So now we got to go do it when we're not at home.
As we talked about last week, that game being a booster, I guess you can say, for the whole offense's confidence and just momentum. So we've got to make sure we carry that over into this week and just keep going.
Should be a hostile environment in Houston tonight. Last time we saw the Cowboys on the road at Seattle, they really didn't handle the crowd noise very well. Randy, if you're going to be a playoff team, you better be able to win in a hostile environment, don't you think?
You better enjoy going to a hostile environment, Bill. Who cares? Them fans can't get out there on the field and play. You get prepared, you go down there and you play a football game. It doesn't matter whether it's home or away. If you're prepared to play the game, you're going to win the game. If you're not, you know, you're going to lose. But it boils down to beating the guy you're playing against. One-on-one battles up and down that line. If we can win that, we'll win the game.
Keith, you touched on it a little bit. It sounds like Cowboys fans are ready for this game there, but I really think Houston fans are really prepared for the Cowboys to come there.
Oh, yeah, they're prepared for the Cowboys to make the trip down. Some of the Cowboys fans are traveling down as we speak. You know, it only took us 45 minutes in the air to get here. The bus ride to the hotel was even longer. So this is really, in my opinion, not a road game. This is not a road game. This is a home game because, as Jalen Smith said, we are America's team, and Cowboys fans are everywhere. So I don't expect the Cowboys to have a disadvantage like they had in Seattle. I don't expect the Cowboys to have a disadvantage like they had in Carolina. I feel the Cowboys should make themselves at home early, and I think a lot of it starts with that running game. Feed him. Feed him. Yeah, they're beeping at us because they know what's going to happen. Feed him, and I think the rest will take care of itself. And you guys know who I'm talking about when I say him.
Yep, and that would be Zeke Elliott. That's what you said a week ago. So you think it's the same game plan this week? Feed Zeke as much as possible, Keith.
I think it's the same exact game plan. I think the Cowboys know they're a little limited on the outside with the wide receivers. They're limited with the tight ends. And you see Zeke stepping up. The most profound thing he said this week in the locker room is, I want to carry the load. I look forward to carrying the load. He now gives the pregame hype talk with Sean Lee out of the lineup. The one thing that amazes me about Zeke, every time I stand up close to him and interview him, the size of that neck and the size of those shoulders. And those shoulders have to carry this team. He accounts for the highest percentage of offense of any skill position player in the league. He's leading the league in rushing. He said, I was the number 4 overall pick because the team believes in me. I believe in myself. I will do what I have to do to carry this team to victory.
Randy, how impressed were you with Zeke Elliott last week against the Lions?
I think he had a great game. I think the offensive line did a good job of getting him to that second level, and he did a great job, excellent job catching the football, and a great game plan of throwing the football to him. It won him the game at the end there. Great play. So, yeah, if they can keep that going, if they can run that football, that's what they want to do, run the football. But if they get that taken away from them, you know, then you got to have the ability to throw the ball downfield.
Some news from the Cowboys yesterday as they do place Travis Frederick on the non-football illness list. That means he will miss at least the next 8 weeks. And also Terrence Williams goes on injured reserve. But in regards to getting to that second level with the offensive lineman, how about Joe Looney, who has played well in place of Travis Frederick, in particular on this play right here, Randy? He's leading the charge, big number 73, all the way 40 yards down the field.
Look at Joe Looney. He needed to go over there and get some oxygen after this play. But hey, this is the kind of look at these guys. Look at the offensive linemen downfield. This is why Zeke is having such success. Not only that he's a great runner, but you get offensive linemen wanting to win and wanting to go downfield and make blocks like that. Looney's a tough guy in there. I like Looney.
Well, I tell you what, though, against this Texans front, they better have a good game tonight, because with J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney, you talk about a handful. There's a couple of handfuls there.
Yeah, those two guys can ruin your day. You know, what they need to do, J.J. Watt, Looney, they need to go up and smack them right in the mouth right off the bat. Let them know, hey, we're here to play football.
So you're in favor of running right at them?
Run right at them, nail them. I tell you, let them know that you're here, and then you're not going to be intimidated. But they're excellent players, and you got to control them, or they'll make you have a terribly long day.
You know, and Watt has 5 sacks the last couple of games. Jadeveon Clowney, number 90 there, had his best game of the year last week against Indianapolis. He not only had 2 sacks, he had a fumble recovery for a touchdown. He had 4 tackles for loss. But as far as the Cowboys' pass offense is concerned, if you can run at them and keep them at bay a little bit, it can keep them off the quarterback too, right?
Well, exactly. If you can run the football, the whole offense, that plays into what the Cowboys want to do. Then you get in third and 3, third and 4, manageable third down situations. You can run the ball, you can throw the ball. It keeps them off balance. You know, when Dak's back there throwing the football, he's got to get that ball out of his hands. You can't sit there and hold it all day, because these guys, you know, you get that count, 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, somebody's going to be putting their hands on you. So you got to know where your little outlet guy, if everybody's covered, or throw the ball away, or you're going to get sacked 6 times or 7 times in this game.
And keep in mind, the Texans have a playmaker in that secondary in the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. All right, coming up here on Cowboys Game Day, Jerry Jones says Tony Romo is going in the Ring of Honor. Randy's got a little something to say about that next. But first, Time for our game day trivia question. The Cowboys started 3 players from the same college on defense last Sunday. Leighton Vander Esch, Tyrone Crawford, and DeMarcus Lawrence. Put your thinking cap on, Randy. When was the last time Dallas started 3 players from the same college on one side of the ball? We'll have the answer after the break. Anybody from the 70s, from your era?
No, I don't think we had anybody from the same school.
Yeah. 3. In our game day trivia question, we told you the Cowboys started 3 players from the same college on defense last Sunday. When was the last time Dallas started 3 players from the same college on one side of the ball? Well, how about last season from the same college, Boise State, but it was DeMarcus Lawrence, Tyrone Crawford, and Orlando Scandrick, not Leighton Vander Esch, last year.
I don't think of anybody that could be more deserving than someone that's made a huge contribution to this franchise than Tony Romo.
So you're saying Tony Romo's going to be in the Ring of Honor?
Yes, I am.
Jerry Jones says Tony Romo will be in the Ring of Honor. Back in 2007, when Romo-mentum had taken North Texas by storm, fans already had him in the ring at Texas Stadium. Now it looks like they'll get their wish, which only depends on how soon Jerry decides to do that. Welcome back to Cowboys Game Day. Randy White is here. Of course, he's in the Ring of Honor. We've got Keith Russell down in Houston. Let's weigh in on this a little bit. I think it's no surprise. We all know Jerry's love for Tony Romo. It's just a matter of when. But your thoughts on the Ring of Honor, and maybe who's gotten snubbed over the years there, Randy? What do you think?
Well, first, I want to say congratulations to Tony Romo for going in the Ring of Honor. That's a great deal. Good. Open that thing up. Yeah. Put Ed Jones in there. Put Harvey Martin in there. Put Charlie Waters in there. Put Everson Walls in there. Put Danny White in there. A lot of great players contributed a lot to the Ring of Honor, and that's a great honor.
Look at Randy going into the Ring of Honor there.
Yeah, look at all that hair.
24 years ago or so. Went in the Hall of Fame in '94. There's Randy's big day. Yeah, and I agree. I think Too Tall Jones and Harvey Martin ought to go in together. Not throw in Cornell Green in that mix, too. Let's check in with Keith, get his thoughts on who belongs in the Ring of Honor. What do you think, Keith?
Hey, guys, it's hard to argue with Tony Romo when he holds almost every Cowboys major passing record, but I'm going with Jimmy Johnson. Hey, it's well documented, the beef that Jimmy and Jerry had. I don't care about that. Let's put personal aside. It's all about business. And when I think about the modern-day Cowboys, I think about Jimmy Johnson. He revolutionized the turnaround of that franchise. Jimmy Johnson is one of the greatest coaches in history. On the college level, definitely on the pro level, I think Jimmy Johnson should be in the Ring of Honor. I think he should have been in the Ring of Honor. I don't care about personal gripes. That man was a great coach, and when I think about those Cowboys teams of the 90s, yeah, we all talk about the triplets, but let's not forget about who was the coach of that team.
All right, but it doesn't matter what we all care. It's what Jerry cares about. That's who gets in the Ring of Honor. Coming up, the Cowboys' new and improved defense will be put to the test tonight. What's the secret for DeMarcus Lawrence and his Hot Boys to contain Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson? The Manster with the answer next.
It's time for the Nissan On the Road Report. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
NRG Stadium in Houston. Big sports weekend in Houston. World champion Astros beat the Indians twice, up 2-0 in the American League Division Series. Cowboys and Texans tonight. And welcome back to Cowboys Game Day. Bill Jones with Randy White here in the CBS 11 studios. Keith Russell already at the stadium, where tonight, Keith, the Cowboys will have their hands full with Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson, right?
Hey, Bill. Hey, Randy. Deshaun Watson is a handful. Let me tell you about this guy. A couple years ago, I interviewed him when he won the Davey O'Brien Award, and he came to Dallas to pick up that award. And I said, he's too mild. He's too meek. He's too short. He was like my height. He's too skinny. And after that, I said, can he play quarterback in the NFL? You look at him last season, that's a big, fat yes. Of course, he's coming off tearing up his knee last season. He was tearing up the league before tearing up that knee. And the guy is one of these new prototype quarterbacks where he can sling it all around the field. He can do it from the pocket. He can do it out of the pocket. The guy can get it done any which way. He's coming off his best performance of the season just last week. And the Cowboys know this guy is flat out dangerous.
he's a lot to handle. But you know, the key is to keep him in the pocket, make him be a rhythm quarterback. Making in the pocket throws. He's very dangerous when he extends plays. We're looking forward to the challenge.
I mean, we're just going to go play our style of ball, and we've played against these kind of guys a bunch.
He's an excellent thrower. He gets outside the pocket. I mean, he hits it, stays in the pocket, and he can throw it. So he's a heck of a ball player. We got our hands full with him.
Last night in the hotel lobby, we caught up with Cowboys defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence, and we asked him, as the NFL sack leader, when he does his sacks, Randy, what is this about when he celebrates? And he said it just came to fruition this year. He's not going to tell us why he does it. But besides DeMarcus doing that a couple more times today, how else can the Cowboys stop that guy named Watson?
Well, it's going to be a tough task. I mean, he's a heck of a football player. He can run the football. He can throw the football. He can throw the football on the run. I always say you got to contain him. You got to keep him in front of him. You get a shot at him, don't try to kill him. Don't try to run over him. Not only are you going to get a 15-yard penalty if you do connect, he's usually going to get away. You're not going to connect.
That's right, yeah.
Yes.
He's been sacked 17 times this year, but a lot of those sacks have come after he's gotten out of trouble, trying to extend plays and so forth. He's such a competitive guy. He tries to make the most out of every play, and that's when you can get him sometimes, but it takes a whole team to corral this guy, doesn't it?
Well, here we go again. I mean, nobody can slow down. You have to be after this guy the whole time. And if he does get out and he starts running the football, you got to have people going to the ball. He got hurt last year. Don't think that's not in the back of his mind about when he's running that football. So you got to have people going after him and see if that doesn't make a difference.
And when you look at DeMarcus Lawrence here, leading the league in sacks at 5.5, had 3 sacks last week. But a lot of those DeMarcus Lawrence sacks are a product of his teammates helping him out, too. Tyrone Crawford, I thought, had a terrific game against Detroit last week, and he runs some interference for Tank Lawrence in there.
Oh, he does. I tell you what, they're really running those stunts to perfection in there. Crawford will go first, and sometimes they'll bring the guy over to center, and the 2 guys go outside, and Lawrence will come around. I mean, they've studied, they're studying, and they're seeing what that offense is giving them, and they're doing a good job with these stunts this year.
And even though they're getting pressure on the quarterbacks, they're not getting interceptions in the secondary. That's one thing about Deshaun Watson, being such a competitive guy, trying to make the most out of every play. He will also give you an opportunity for some picks, and they got to start coming up with some picks. It's incredible they don't have any through 4 games.
Well, there's another quarterback like Stafford was last week. He'll throw it in there. You never got your guy covered. Never assume that you have your guy covered, because he'll fire that ball in there. They got confidence that they can make those type throws. But sooner or later, you make it a priority. I know we used to have slumps when we had sacks, and we'd say, well, they're not getting sacks. They're not getting sacks. Sooner or later, we made it a priority, and you know what? We started making sacks. Now, these guys will start getting interceptions at some point down the road, but maybe they'll start today. But, you just got to keep working, going hard, going 100%, and that's all you can do.
Teams so far have taken advantage of some mental busts for the Cowboys in the secondary. But you look at Chido Awuzie last week, outside of the Golden Tate touchdown, where there was a mental bust in the secondary. He had good coverage on Golden Tate and other receivers, but Stafford just made the throws last week. That's what you get in the NFL some weeks.
Stafford just, he's that kind of guy. He's not afraid to fire that ball in there, and, you can be all over the guy, and you just got to cover him tighter. That's what you got to do. When you watch this film, you got to figure out how you can cover him tighter and be in a better position to turn around and knock that ball away. So, but it's a priority. And when you make something a priority, usually it starts improving.
And run defense, the Cowboys actually won a game last week without Sean Lee starting. Leighton Vander Esch has been playing well for a rookie.
He's been playing well. That whole defense is, they're going to the football, Bill. If they're not at the point of attack, they're running to the football. And that's what it takes to play good defense. And I think they've gained a lot of knowledge in the middle there. He's, I'm sure Sean Lee is coaching him and showing him how to study film and what to look for during that game. He's on the sidelines talking to him. So it makes his job a little easier having somebody to coach you like that.
All right, the latest on David Irving coming up next here on Cowboys Game Day. Up next, we'll head back out to Houston with Keith Russell, and it's prediction time. Randy tries to get over 500 today.
The on-time delivery is sponsored by UPS. Future You. Apply now at upsjobs.com.
After missing his first career field goal, Cowboys place kicker Brett Maher has delivered for the Cowboys, making 8 straight, including the game winner as time expired last week against the Lions.
It's time for the Nissan Drive to Success. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
A look at the NFC East standings and the Redskins. The Redskins are 2-1 in first place. They play at the Saints on Monday night. Cowboys, of course, at the Texans tonight. Eagles also 2-2. They play the Vikings this afternoon, and it's the Giants at the Panthers. The Cowboys have activated David Irving as he's back from his 4-game suspension. However, he won't be playing tonight. Did not make the trip to Houston. My question to Keith Russell is, when can the Cowboys depend on David Irving?
I'm going to give 2 answers, and they're the same. I don't know, and it remains to be seen. Bill and Randy, he has to get on the field. He has to get on the field. He has to play. But Houston, we do not have a problem tonight. The Cowboys win this game. I think they win it convincingly, and I think they move to 3-2 on the year and get their first road win of the season.
Well, it would be big for the Cowboys if they can get a win and get above 500. Of course, they host Jacksonville, a very good team, next week. And Randy, what's a key to victory tonight, and what's your pick?
Yeah, they got to control that quarterback. I think that's, and if they can block Watt,
J.J. Watt, yeah,
if they can keep them out of the picture, I think they got a good chance of winning the football game.
So you're going to go out on a
Cowboys.
limb and pick the Cowboys to win and try to get to 3-2 on his picks for the season as well. It's going to be a tough one tonight against Houston, and be sure to tune in to CBS 11 for our complete post-game coverage. Keith Russell in the locker room, and we've got a great one at noon today. It's that Jacksonville defense going up against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Keep it on CBS 11.